Hello there. I'm just looking around over here. Hey, how you doing today? Hope you're doing great. When you come on, let me know who you are, where you're coming in from, and just say hello. Uh, Welcome to my time. Trying to get everything adjusted here. Sorry. Anyway, hey, wanted to talk to you today about a guy. And you've all probably heard this. If you've ever tried to do something that your friends and family maybe thought you were kind of crazy and trying, and they're kind of looking at you and they're saying, you can never do that. And you've heard people talk about it and they say, well, they said I could never do this, or they said this couldn't be done, and they said this and they said that. I've never figured out who they are. They really are the people who are busy not trying to do anything and not trying to get better themselves. Maybe, well, that's not necessarily true. They're not trying to better themselves in the same arena maybe you are, okay? So in other words, they're kind of uneducated about what you are attempting to do or attempting to try. I want to tell you a story today about a guy, and they said he could never do it, right? And this guy's name is Eldrick. Eldrick was a unique young fella, small child. And before he was even 2 years old, Eldrick really enjoyed playing this game of golf. And his father was a retired lieutenant from the Navy, and he's a fairly good athlete himself. So he kind of started paying attention to his little boy. And as he started, looking like he might have a little bit of potential in this thing called golf, his dad kind of worked with him a bit, and took him out to the Navy base and let him knock the golf ball around, this, that, and the other. Anyway, he continued to improve through the years. I've got a few notes on this, so I may look at that from time to time because I don't want to misquote anything here. But anyway, this kid, like I said, he was, I guess, what you'd call a natural born golfer, maybe. Eldrick was he was a kind of a mixed kid. You've heard people talk about people who are mixed, and sometimes they're looked at with maybe, depending on who's looking at them, people have their own predisposition of judging people based on race or color or creed or whatever. Well, this kid has several different heritages within his own makeup. And but anyway, Eldrick was a cute little kid, and he was playing golf pretty decent, and he caught the attention of some TV people. And back I think he was like 3 years old. He was on the Mike Douglas show, for any of you who may remember Mike Douglas. And he shot a 48 at the naval course at that age. And at 5, he appeared in the Golf Digest, ABC's That's Incredible. Before turning 7, Eldrick won the underage 10 section of the drive, pitch, and putt competition held at the Navy Golf course in Cypress, California. In 84, at the age of 8, he won the 9 to 10 boys event, youngest age group available at the Junior World Golf Championships. And from there, he just continued to get better and better and better. And he went to college for a couple of years at Stanford University. He went so he could play golf as an amateur there. And he did, you might say, exceptionally well. And this young boy, after 2 years of college, Eldrick decided college really wasn't for him, and he decided to go pro. So he became a pro golf player, Eldrick did. And Eldrick continued to improve. And as hard work and dedication and the passion of golf would prove itself in his fate, he became known as the greatest golfer of all time. Now, you may not know who Eldrick is. You may never have heard him referred to like that. But Eldrick in 2009 had some personal situations come into his life, and he was married at that time, and he and his wife had some uh, difficulties that they needed to work through. So Eldrick kind of pulled back away from golf, and Eldrick had been doing very well. He had numerous sponsors, corporate sponsors in his pro career, and all the sponsorships pulled away from him because these personal situations that had come up. Anyway, so he took a hiatus from golf to get his personal life right, and he had some injuries as a result of a car accident that he'd had during that time. And around 2010, Eldrick said, well, I think I'm going to try this golf thing again. Served me well so far. So he came back in 2010 and attempted. And as a result, like I said, of the injuries from the car accident and then numerous injuries throughout, he has had several surgeries since that time. And although he came back to the game of golf, he had never really gotten back to that level of the greatest golfer in the world that he had been referred to before. But this past weekend, actually yesterday, at the Masters golf tournament in Augusta, Georgia, Eldrick, and you may know him better as Tiger Woods, won the Masters golf tournament yesterday. And that is something that the critics had said, he'll never come back. He'll never be able to overcome all these injuries. He'll never be able to come back from all these personal problems that he's had. He'll never be able to come back from all the negative publicity that came out about him. He'll never, ever get back to the world's greatest golfer. And although yesterday in his game, he won the Masters at Augusta, he still would not commit to say that it was his best. He did just say he had played very well. So the point of the whole story is they said he could never do it. Now, I got a question for you. How many of you have ever attempted to do something that maybe you're very passionate about, and maybe you know deep down inside it's something you've been talented enough to do for a number of years, but you just held back? Maybe you've been afraid to try it. And then you step out and you announce to your friends, you announce to your family that you're trying this new thing, that you're maybe going into business for yourself, for example. And your friends and family, like I said, they may not be as educated in that area of business as you are. And they look at you and say, you can never do it. You'll never make it. You might as well quit. That's just a bunch of crap, right? Well, how many times do you think Tiger Woods was told you'll never make it after his fall from grace in 2009? How many times do you think that man has heard critics say, he's heard sportscasters say, he heard his sponsors say, you'll never come back, Tiger. You're finished. You're washed up. You're washed away. Well, Tiger proved all of them wrong yesterday. Now, how did he do that? How did he come back? He did it through hard work. He did it through hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of practice and training and perspiration and just pure grit and pure guts. Why did he do it? He did it because he wanted to prove to himself that he could come back and that he could once again be the greatest golfer of all time. Now, he did it also to show his son and his daughter that their dad could win a golf tournament, right? Because the little boy had never seen his father win a tournament, ever. He'd never seen him win a golf game, ever. So it was a very touching scene yesterday at the end of the Masters. They flashed back to 97 with Tiger hugging his own father, and then fast forward to yesterday, and Tiger then becoming the father of this young boy and, you know, embracing him at the end of that fantastic win at the Masters yesterday. And it just showed the power of a generational passion, right? And I just want to ask you, if what you're doing today is something that no matter what they say, are you willing to put in the perspiration? Are you willing to put in the dedication? Are you willing to put in all the effort and take all the training and go through all the training and go through all those steps day in and day out and work your bones off? Is it worth it to you to someday look at your daughter, son, granddaughter, grandson, niece or nephew and say, that's what your aunt did. That's what your grandma did. That's what your mother did. That's what your father did. That's what your brother, your sister did. That's what this family member did for generational legacy to continue. How many of you are doing what you're doing right now with a mindset looking forward enough into the future to say, if I do this and I get this right, and I keep working and I keep trying and I keep failing and I keep getting back up and I keep starting back over, how many of you are willing to go through whatever it takes so someday one of those little grandkids or one of those little children or one of those little nieces or nephews are going to come up and jump in your arms and embrace you and say thank you for building that business when they said you could never do it. I just wonder how many of you are willing to go the distance with what you're passionate about, what you have put inside of you, and what you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are capable of achieving, right? And how many of you are willing to reach back and help someone else along the way, right? How many of you are willing, like Tiger's father was, to say, okay, this kid's got it. He needs a little help. He needs some pointers. And his dad was his coach for a while. His dad showed him the way to go, right? Now, would Tiger have been as good without the help of his dad? Would Tiger have been as good without the support of his mom and dad? And nobody knows, because that wasn't the case. They were fully supported. They were fully on board, right? But what's golf got to do with business? Well, golf happened to be Eldrick's passion, Tiger Woods' passion. What I have to ask you today is, what is your passion? And are you working on what you're passionate about? And are you turning that passion into a legacy that you can leave for generations to come? I hope you are. And if you are, and if maybe you're having a little struggle along the way, maybe you're wondering what all the pieces and the parts are. You know, Tiger had to have coaches along the way. Even though he never graduated from college, he only went to Stanford 2 years, and then he turned pro, right? But even as a professional golfer, Tiger always had a coach. Tiger's always had mentorship. Tiger's always had people in his corner, right? And he's always had people providing him some insight and some instructions and giving him pointers on how to continue to grow and continue to be better and continue to go forward and overcome all the challenges he had to overcome. So one day, yesterday, he could stand up and say to all of the people who said he'll never do this, he can look at them now and say, oh, yes, I could. Yes, I did. So how will you feel when you can turn around to the people who have said you'll never make it? How's it going to feel for you that day to turn around and say, yeah, I could, and yes, I did, right? So I hope that you have found what you're passionate about. I hope you're working hard toward that. And I really, really hope, if you are struggling in any area, maybe you're struggling with copywriting, maybe you're struggling with getting that first blog post out, maybe you're struggling with doing Facebook Lives, maybe you're struggling with how to run a Facebook ad, maybe you're struggling with what pieces and parts do I need to build my business online. If that's you, and you need to have a little bit of assistance along the way, if you're looking for someone who may be a step or two ahead of where you are and is willing to reach back and help you up, then I hope you'll look for that person. And if you feel like you're getting value from me, I can tell you that is exactly who I help. I help aspiring entrepreneurs grow their business online. And why do I do that? Because it is a passion of mine to help others. You know, as I grow and as I learn, I love to pass that information on to other people. So if you would be interested in just, finding out some more information about how you can grow your business online, put more info in the comments below, and I will certainly certainly get you some information that I can tell you right now from personal experience will be quite helpful to you. I see Carol Ingram is online with me. And Carol, if you're making any comments over there, I can't see them for whatever reason. Some days it works well over here with comments coming in. Some days it doesn't. So if you, even if you haven't made a comment yet, Carol, can you just put a 1 in the comments below? And let me make sure the comments, I'm able to see them, because there may be others that have commented and I can't see it. And if that is the case, I will go back when the live is over and I will review them and I will be back in touch with you. But if you do feel like you need the help of going online with your business and growing your business online, then just put more info in the comments below and I will get back with you very shortly. In the meantime, I hope you'll continue to pursue your passion just like Eldrick did. You know, if I would have told you this story and only used the name of Eldrick, most of you would never have known who I'm talking about. And there's a very good reason for that, because Eldrick wasn't the brand, Tiger was. And you can say Tiger in anywhere, and everybody knows, whether they follow golf or not. Most people will know. If you say Tiger won the Masters, they'll know exactly who you're talking about. If you told them Eldrick won the Masters, they'd probably argue with you and say, no, Tiger Woods did. That's because Tiger Woods branded himself as Tiger. So that's a very key point for you, my friends. Doesn't matter what you're passionate about, you got to brand yourself. So when somebody says, you know, who's the best blogger online, they'll say your name. When they say, well, who knows the most about running a Facebook ad? Hey, they're going to say your name. If they say, who's the greatest author around? They're going to say your name, right? So you've got to brand yourself. Doesn't matter what your products and services are. You can brand products and services all day, which typically they're already branded to another company anyway. And unless you're the owner of that company, chances are, if you continue to promote just products and just services and just brand names of brand companies, then that's who people are going to recognize, and they're not going to remember your name. Give them something to talk about you, okay? So brand yourself. That's the first tip I'll give you. I'll be back with you tomorrow afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am Jan Fansler. If you're joining me for the first time, catching this on a replay, or you're here with me live and commenting, I can't see the comments, but I will catch back up. As soon as this is over, I'll check the comments and I will get back to you. Until tomorrow afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, when I'll be right back here again with you, right here on Jan Fansler, with my time with you, my time for you. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Bye for now.